Kimberly Fletcher é autora, colunista, presidente, fundadora do Mães, pela América, uma organização não governamental que representa 500 mil mães aqui nos Estados Unidos. Kimberly, thank you so much for joining us at SBT News.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
Well, on March 8th, the world celebrated International Women's Day. A couple of days ago, President Trump declared March as Women's History Month. And since the inauguration, we have seen, Kimberly, not only a discussion, but actually actions taken in order to promote women's rights in the United States. You were, for example, at the White House when President Trump signed an executive order on women's rights in sports. Not a long time ago, First Lady Melania, she was at the Congress to discuss in a roundtable online protection for girls and children in the country. And you have been very vocal about how mothers should stand and promote those topics. How do you see the power of maternity to bring those topics to the table?
Well, when you become a mother, everything changes. You look at the world a whole different way. You're worried about, not necessarily worried, but you focus on the protection of your children. And that changes everything on the landscape of every society and culture. So we are in a position where we are supposed to teach, nurture, protect our children. And in the United States, that is something that we have taken very seriously. I have for years, but in 2020, a lot of moms realized that their rights were being usurped, their children were being harmed, that they were being mentally, emotionally, and even physically abused in school settings, the things that they were being exposed to in media and in our culture. And they became very alarmed and started to step up. One of the things that I have realized is that the same things that we are facing in our own country, countries across the world are also facing, where there is this seemingly attack on our children, the desire to steal their hearts and minds, to put them in dangerous situations, to prepare them for things that they're not ready for. And so we want to prepare them for a world where they can achieve their goals, where they can have an opportunity to soar to their highest heights, to follow their dreams. And it is a world where we feel we need to create, not just in the United States, but in countries around the world, so that we can unite together as mothers. And that's why I just love that we have International Women's Day. It's the one day in the year when all of the moms and conservative women, the faith women, can unite together and celebrate the influence that we have in our countries and culture.
Now, Kimberly, no matter like which point of view a mother might have on what they think about, rights in society, do you believe that maternity can congregate and bring mothers from maybe different points of view together? And that was my main question. Which power do you believe that maternity brings while discussing those topics in society?
I think we are united together as mothers because of our children. It doesn't matter what country, what culture we're from. We all want the best for our children, right? We all want them to have the best opportunities. They all want them to be safe and protected. And really, all moms want the same thing. First and foremost, we want our children to be safe and protected. Second, we want them to get a good education. Third, we want them to have opportunities to succeed. That is something that we universally can agree on. So when we're starting to look at different aspects of our countries and cultures, first we're going to always look at our children. How does this affect our children? Is this benefiting our children? Is it making life better for them? And that's something that is very unifying across the globe.
Well, you founded Moms for America in 2004, right? And in the past year, it has been a growth. More mothers are engaging and wanting to be part of the group. What led to this growth from your perspective?
Well, they're definitely concerned for their children. The movement that I established on fighting for principles that we believe in. Yes, there are things that sometimes we have to fight against, but if we are fighting for principles that we believe in, our national sovereignty, sovereignty, our national identity, the safety and protection of our children. Those are universal ideals and truths that we can stand on. So when I started to share the story of America, what it's really about, what our rights are, where they come from, it got moms really excited because they don't teach that in schools anymore in our country. And I've realized that the problems that we are facing in our country are really symptoms of one problem, and that every country around the globe is facing the same problem, and that is a national identity crisis. Of course, the tyrannical attacks during COVID really lit up moms. When there was a mom in Colorado who was being arrested. And while her little girl was crying and sobbing, she was being arrested and pulled away because they were at a park during COVID when you were not allowed to be at a park. That's absurd. That's when the whole world started to look and go, wait a minute, this is not right. And that's when moms really started to unite, and our movement grew and expanded. And now we have, in the last couple of years, I've had moms from multiple countries come to me and say, can you do Moms for America in our country? And I'm like, well, no, because it's Moms for America, but we can do Moms for Australia or Moms for Brazil.
That's why you mentioned at the convention where actually we first met, the idea of Moms for Freedom.
Yes. So we are launching this year momsforfreedom.world. We already have 17 countries who have joined on, moms from 17 countries. And people are like, well, what is Moms for Freedom? And I just tell them it is simply a way to unite moms in every country around the world on those universal tenets and truths and principles that we all stand for, and giving us a voice to be able to shout from the mountaintops, this is what moms care about. This is what moms want, and have a voice where government leaders and policymakers will start to go, wait a minute, maybe we should do things a little bit differently. And even if they don't, at least we have a voice and we're united together across the globe.
And I believe that this also must be a safe space for discussion of all topics related to maternity. Right, Kimberly?
Yes. So we can talk about everything that matters to us, which all has to do with our kids. One of the things
of cell phones and the child.
Yes.
As I mentioned, for example,
here in Washington, D.C., a recent topic, lawmakers, they're discussing online safety for girls and children, and how images created by artificial intelligence might affect the safety of those children.
Well, they're taking it very seriously now. And I think before they were looking at it, well, oh, it's just pornography for men. And that's not what this is about. This isn't about adult men. This is about exposing our children. This is about putting images on the internet that anybody can see. We want to protect our children from that. We want to protect our children from being sexualized, which they are in all aspects of society. We want to make sure they get a quality education. We want to make sure that they have opportunities to succeed. We've got to first and foremost protect them from the dangers that are attacking them from the world with this over-sexualization of our children. And we don't want that. And I'm realizing that it's not just the United States where this is happening. Maybe the United States is the first one that's standing up and saying, hey, this is not okay and we need to do something about it. But this is great because the United States can take the lead that other countries can follow, because the mothers in all of these countries stand by those same principles and values. We do not want our children sexualized. Can we just let our kids be kids? Let them have their innocence and until they can grow into the adulthood, when those adult conversations and adult situations are something that they're ready to handle. They're not ready to handle that in kindergarten and first grade.
Well, and as we are in March, that it was declared here in the United States, Women's History Month, we just celebrated International Women's Day. Kimberly, do you believe that maternity brings something unique, no matter where we are in the world, in order to unified society? We have been living in a very much polarized society here and in other parts in the world. Do you believe that maternity can be a tool to reunite society?
Absolutely. Motherhood is the great unifier. No matter where you stand on a position of politics or policy or what country you're from, motherhood unifies us.
Mhm.
I told a friend one day, they said, well, how can you justify that? I'm like, I'll tell you exactly how. You can put 200 women in a room. One of them tells her birth story, and the whole entire room is united. They're all sharing their birth stories for either their own birth story or that of their children. It is uniting. It is unifying. It is something that brings us together because it is the center of society. Home is the center of society. Mothers are the center of the home. We are not just that old saying, the hand that rocks the cradle rolls the world, isn't just a cute little saying. It is an immortalized fact. We are the ones who are determining what our countries, what the world is going to look like in 10, 20, 30 years. If we don't like where it's heading, we have the ability to change it right now. That is the power of mom.
Well, Kimberly, congratulations for your work. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, your ideas here with us. Thank you.